Back in a few minutes.
So far we are 6 in the group.
Nimsy, where did I find your ID?
In the guild matters of the day.
Oh, can you post it in Discord?
Sure. 2 seconds. There it goes.
You just froze or whatever.
Can you get on? I can invite you now, I think. Anyone else needs an invite?
Yeah, as soon as I'm in game. It's loading.
Same.
Man, it's hilarious. I don't know how to leave this area. Fuck.
Do we have a warlock for someone?
Actually, yes.
Diana, you didn't get an invite yet, did you?
They're still trying.
Okay, where? How do I get from
It's
that
loading.
harbor thingy on? Jeez, I can't remember this place.
Just teleport to Stormwind or something.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a room
I
with the
just need
teleports.
to find the teleports.
If you're in Borales.
My Hearthstone wasn't wireless, so
Okay, if you're in Borales, mate.
yeah, I've just found them. Should I take? I should take Ironforge.
No. Okay, I'd take Stormwind, but
Lucy, do you have assistant?
No, I'm not able to invite.
which character?
On Washi.
Paladin, I'll promote you.
We've got assistant now, Nibs.
Yeah, thank you.
Finally, I found the portal.
God.
These load times, my god.
It's because you don't have the game installed.
Jeg har lige sat mig.
Right, if you're in earshot, I make
Jeg har
it
lige sat mig.
13 minutes past.
Jeg har lige sat mig og skulle til at gug. Slap af.
I think Nimsy's
You
doing
cover
the invites. Unless I'm very much mistaken.
Undskyld. Men jeg skal til at undervise. Jeg er teacher. Jeg skal undervise. I don't send them a request, I'll just add one yet. Bugger. Who's missing invites? Raven. Raven. Let's see if I can find you. There you are. Anyone else?
Who is the bumpkin?
I am.
Friend request.
Nimsy, I just sent a friend request.
Yeah, saw it.
Okay, now I need to find. Found it.
Did you get the invite?
I think so. Half of the game hasn't loaded.
Okay, your
I haven't
Xavier
gotten invite
were.
either. I don't think.
Yeah, and in some kind of group.
Don't.
I can't
Nib-
figure out all the names. Oh, Lowlife, yeah.
Nimsy,
Who
a few
can
of the
forget him?
guys are reporting that the video's private.
It shouldn't.
How do you see it in
It shouldn't be private. I'm live streaming right now.
Have you published it?
No, as a stream, you don't publish it. It just live streams. So,
Well, it is private, so
Nimsy,
okay.
can you invite me as well, please?
And who is this?
Trying to look up some.
Sukin.
Sukeen. What was your name?
The same. Dexter, maybe.
I think I will battle tag Wilson.
Lowlife or Nimsy, anyone, you just press the promote all by others.
Shadow, did you get invite?
Alright, well, I'm here. Ocean.
Well, the video should not be private since this is a live stream.
So you have. And Gian Hike.
Please promote Ocean. Group 1.
Still says it's private.
It should be.
well, what it should be and what it is, unfortunately, don't know.
2 seconds.
Where do we see the stream?
On YouTube, we have a link on the guild chat.
Invaluable is streaming via Discord.
I see it. 2 seconds. I found it.
That's some compelling gameplay right here.
When I started to copy my stream, I accidentally scrolled it, so it changed the priority. You should be able to see it now.
Guild chat.
Yes, it works. I confirm.
That's my fault. I accidentally scrolled when I made the stream. Unlock.
Yep.
Guild chat link. Did you say?
Could I grab a promote, please, Nimsy? Group 2.
There you go.
Thanking you.
Can you hear me on the live stream as well? I'm guessing you're on this Discord as well, I guess.
Yeah, but I had to mute you on the stream because otherwise.
No problem. The reason why I'm recording it so people can watch it afterwards as well.
Okay, we've got.
Some delay.
We have 20 in the raid group. Anyone else?
Yeah,
in the next
Varigan,
one?
if I can find him. Oh, what was Varigan? Yeah, there he is.
Okay, guys. So, thank you all for joining. I count 33 still on Discord, so that's excellent.
Excellent.
As I say, the purpose of this is not because we're chasing down a server first or anything like that. We will finish where we finish. As you all know, we prioritize smoothness of raids i.e., if you're a log fiend, the what's it called? Someone help me.
Execution.
Thank you. But you know, if we finish first, second, third, happy days. Certainly not going to complain. So the main purpose of this is to save us some. I'm almost going to contradict myself here, but the main purpose of this is to save ourselves some time on the night, give everybody a bit of an insight as to positioning and stuff. Nimsy has put in a, I can't stress this enough. He has put in a hell of a lot of work. Hours, 10s, 20, 30 hours, I dread to think. So, firstly, Nimsy, thank you very much, mate. It's very much appreciated from not only me, but everybody.
Love you, Nims.
Thank you.
So, thank you for that. As such, guys, let's try and make the most of this. You know, if we want to get this done in around about an hour, so you know that averages what, just less than 10 minutes a boss. Depends how many questions we're going to have. So obviously, I'm not saying don't ask questions. The whole purpose of this is to ask questions. But what I'm going to do is put a little bit of a timer on it. You know, if we're starting to approach 10 minutes on the boss, I'll probably say we're going to have to move on.
And any last questions? Yeah.
Exactly, and then we can take questions, you know, to the Discord text, because if we spend 20 minutes on a boss, which we could easily do, we're only going to get through 2 or 3 bosses. So
yeah.
Can I make one little point? Sorry, just not to go running into the next rooms after we kill bosses, because there are a couple of them, i.e. this one, that there's some trash that Nimsy will want to explain about as soon as we've killed this boss. So please, everyone, don't just go charging on in, because otherwise the trash runs off. And well, that's it. Sorry.
yeah,
Sorry to interrupt.
no, that's a valid point, Jim. And also, please don't attack the boss until we say, because everyone is literally going to one-shot it, and there might be a bit of positioning and stuff.
Well, in this case, we just want to kill the boss as quick as possible. But I do want to have someone who has never tried to mind control the boss before. Can you please say plus in the raid chat?
Don't be scared.
Don't be
I
scared.
suppose you don't need a healer for it.
Well,
No, you don't need a healer.
I have done it, but it's like 15 years ago, so...
Okay. Since no one is writing anything, I think you're going to be the one. So, as you can see here, there are...
We've lost you, Nims.
Yeah, I forgot to push the talk. There are 3 ads up here. As soon as we kill this Gethrock, the controller, you are able to mind control Razor Gore with the green orb that's just in front of him. So your job is mainly to run just under it from the front here and click on it. And then you're going to run.
From the distance.
You should be able to stand just under it and click on it, yeah. And your main task is when you get mind control, you get 4 icons. Your only icon is the one called Destroy Eggs. In Classic, each egg is going to take you 3 seconds to destroy. You get a 7-second cooldown, and in those 7 seconds, you are supposed to move to the next egg. And for whoever is mind controlling, make sure we are keeping up at least 2 eggs in this corner over here. Those are going to be the last 2 eggs that are going to be destroyed. The reason for this is so we can position ourselves for phase 2.
The 2 just below the ramp, or the 2
No, in the back.
Yeah, on the platform.
Yes, exactly. So make sure you keep 2 eggs in the back there at all times up. They should never be destroyed.
On the map. Yeah, what will be the easiest one is that just to go up
here
and start on the platform on the other and just move through the hall.
Yeah. As I said, you have 7 seconds to get to the next egg.
Okay.
and you should be standing right on top of it as I do here right here. Because if you are just next to it, there is still a chance you are missing the destroy X, and that means 10 seconds longer fight.
Nimsy, can you put a mark on yourself, by the way, just so guys know where you're at? Perfect.
So, oh yeah, I forgot almost. I can do this. This position right here is where the mind controller is going to be as soon as we kill the character controller. So, I think we basically just start the fight, then we can explain the phase 2 when everyone is dead. Because then we're not going to be interfered with having all these eggs here. So we're just going to kill these, and you're going to go and mind control, and you're going to destroy all the eggs.
Okay.
I'm getting XP in here.
Great. So as you can see,
Okay. How do I control this? Oh.
yeah, and then you should see a claw. That's the one you need to use on the eggs.
I think it looks like a wicked claw icon.
Yeah, a wicked claw. Yeah.
I don't have any cooldown on this one, but yeah.
No,
They
but
changed it.
They changed it. In Classic, you have a 3-second cast, 7-second cooldown, and then for those 7 seconds, you need to move from egg to egg. And as you might notice now, from the 4 corners, there will soon start spawning ads. Be mindful of those for when I explain phase 2 here very soon. You see, we got some mages. We got 2 dragonsons this time. And this is gonna take very, very quickly.
Yep. So while the eggs are being destroyed, guys, the raid group is split into 4, and you're assigned a corner. Apart from ranged DPS, you're going to be assigned a corner, but you're going to be sort of stood in the middle. Sorry, Nims, can you put a marker on me as well?
My possess is soon running out.
Yeah, so sorry to jump around. So when your mind control is starting to run out, whoever's controlling, you want the mind control to run out when he's on the platform he's on at the minute. Because it breaks and he starts running back like he is now. Okay. So the next person takes over control before he reaches you and then continues destroying the eggs.
Okay, now I have cooldown so I can take over.
Yeah, so that's why you have 2 people doing the controlling. And it takes 2.5 controls. Did we work it out to be, Nims?
2 I think 2 or 3, yeah.
Yeah,
probably 3.
So as I was saying, guys, you're going to be assigned a corner, and basically you nuke down the spawning ads. But there is a kill priority, Nimsy.
Yeah, the main priority you need to kill is the mages. If you don't kill the mages,
hold fire for a moment.
If you don't kill the mages, they have an AoE that can silence the Drake, meaning you get longer time on your destroy egg. So mages are in first priority every single time. Second priority are the dragonkins, those you can see running around here. They have a lot of armor and they cleave. They will be tanking each side by a designated tank. And all the ranged which are standing in the middle, your first task is to change your target to this specific dragonkin and nuke it down as soon as possible. The legionnaires, each corner will take care of those as well, and after they're dead, they can go help assist on the dragonkins in your assigned corners. So you can destroy the last egg.
And the reason why we have the ranged in the middle, guys, is that you're assigned a corner, but if one corner starts getting overrun, because you're in the middle, you can switch and help out in other corners if need be.
Exactly. Where a melee takes extra time to run to the corner and DPS. Just kill the last egg as well.
Just quick. When we will do it during the real raid, we will start collapsing when 1 egg is still up. So the time the tank swaps in for mind controlling, everybody starts collapsing.
Yeah, I was getting to that. As I said, we keep 2x left before. When we have 2x, all the ranged, if you follow circle, all ranged and healers and melee, they go to green triangle here and go out of line of sight behind these pillars. Of course, the healers for the main tanks, they need to be on focus on the tanks, of course. The reason for this is we want the tank and the off tank to get some threat on him first. When they have that, melee can move into a closer position, which is the diamond here. And they can start doing DPS from behind. And once you do the fireball volley, they can move out of line of sight and move in again. That's the whole task. But we don't move into position. Also, we have 2x left. That's important. Once the last egg is dead, all these ads running around here, they doesn't matter anymore. They're gonna run out of the room like chickens. So the tank here, main tank is going to be this red cross. Skull is going to be the boss, meaning he's going to position him right here where the skull is. The main tank, he can get the conflict rate. That means the off tank, who is at the blue square, quickly can move in, take over, and keep continuing the fight. And the two tanks are going to ping pong between tanking Razor Gore here. And as I said, every fireball volley, melee, and ranged move out of line of sight in your designated place. In this case, the purple for melee, the green is the pillar here you run behind. And that should basically be a kill. Any questions?
Our ranged stood back there
Yeah.
by the green.
Yes, ranged
green
and
triangle
healers.
or
Green triangle, yeah. And you should be able to reach the tank from there. If not, I think I positioned the skull a bit too far ahead. But the line of sight for melee should be just here in this corner. And that's easy to move out DPS and move in again. And this will only be valuable in the beginning while progressing. When we get more gear, line of sight will not be that much of a deal for us anymore. But in the beginning, getting out of line of sight is the difference between actually killing this and not killing it. Because the healers need to focus on the tanks in this fight. So melee and ranged, if you are out of line of sight and you have low health, use your bandages to assist the healers.
Okay, let's move on, guys. Because
I have just one more comment. To the one that's using the orb, you can actually stand. You don't have to go up the ramp.
Yeah.
Take it from beneath, and that's quicker, I think.
Yeah, that's what I said in the beginning, just below here, yeah. But when I was on my dwarf hunter, I had trouble reaching the orb.
Please don't run through to the next room, guys.
Yeah, there's something very special about this next here.
Okay, let's move up, but not in.
Yeah, you can move to around here. That's it.
Yeah, here being the orange circle, guys.
The reason why this is so important is when we enter this room, there are 6 engineers standing around Veilstra. We want to kill these 6 Blackwing technicians, sorry. Because we need their hourglass dust, I think you call it.
Sand.
Sorry, yeah, so hourglass sand. We need that for Chromagis, which is much later in the dungeon, and we need as many as possible. The plus thing about those, they drop the Elementium ore, which we are in need for our Thunder Fury. So we want classes who can sprint, speed, or whatever, do Moonfire, or whatever. So if we run in, we can see them run. So let's move in, and 3, 2, 1, run. You see them, they're getting scared. And normally they would run, and I guess the other side run upstairs.
Yeah, so there's some downstairs and some upstairs, guys.
Yeah, there are 3 on each side of him. See up there, they're running now. If I mark the skull upstairs, we want to kill all of them because they drop the elemental ignite or important stuff. So let me just mark all the positions.
Back
Like
downstairs.
they're hugging the edge. You could maybe just dot them down, no?
You just need to engage them. That stops them running. So you can dot them, frost nova. You can blink and frost nova. You can sprint, whatever. You just need to engage them. Then they stop running.
If
It's
the
not.
warlocks just assign some of them to put on one of the instant dots, we should be.
Yeah.
Well, it's just following the edge up there, so maybe we can actually reach them from down here.
Possibly. I mean, back in the day, we just used to run up the stairs and you could get them fine. It's not that you've got to kill them before they exit. You
just need to activate them.
Exactly. Everybody back downstairs if you're up.
I don't think we had line of sight for them from down here.
Line of sight. Okay. So for this fight, this is very much a gear check, DPS check to see if we are actually able to clear content past this spot. So in this fight, it is very important you still keep the damage up and still watch your threat. The main tank is going to position himself at the red cross here, while the off tanks are at the blue square just under in the cave here under the wing. Melee is at the moon. Ranged and healers are at the triangle.
Sorry,
Yes.
Pogik, but can't you just not doing that? That's pretty distracting.
Move range to there. So when the fight starts, he will start blah 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 blah. So important stuff about the dragon and he's been corrupt, stuff like that. We will get a buff that will give you 500 mana per 5 seconds. It will give you 50 energy per seconds, or it will give you 20 raids per seconds. So this means you are basically able to spam click whatever spell you ever have on your bar, menu bar, or whatever. So when the tank timer starts, Darren gonna go move in at number 1, and he's starting DPSing. At number 2 seconds, off tank starts and doing DPS as well. When we hit the 8-second marker, all melee and ranged DPS can start going in. That means on 10 seconds, the first burning adrenaline gonna be popped on any mana user. So that means healer, ranged DPS, and sadly also a few melee paladins we have in the raid. When you get the burning adrenaline, it's important you run to the diamond here in the back. And when you get the burning adrenaline, you will lose 5% of your health every second for 18 seconds until you die, and you will explode, just like being the bomb in Baron Gideon fights. The only thing we are doing different, because by reading and watching videos, people who get the burning adrenaline don't do shit in any of the videos and or guides I've been reading. It's okay, you can keep do DPS. The thing is, when you have this debuff, you are doing 100% more damage, and you do it with a 100% cast speed. So you still need to watch your threat, but still do DPS to Velstra, because that is a lot of wasted DPS if you're doing nothing. If you're healer, you keep healing. That's important. And after 18 seconds, you're gonna explode and you're gonna die. That's it. And that's gonna happen every 15 seconds, I think. Yeah. But at 45 seconds, the first tank is gonna be the next burning adrenaline, and after that, the off tank should be second on threat and be ready to get in position where the main tank is. The main tank, I guess that's one I haven't figured out. You move just backwards up towards the throne, and the off tank should get the aggro automatically. And from that point on, that's the entire fight. So, any questions?
So when you get the burning adrenaline, you get your ass out of the raids and then just nuke like shit.
Yeah,
and keep watching your aggro.
nuke with care. You still
Yeah,
need to
yeah,
watch your
watch
threat.
aggro. Yeah, sure.
But since the tank still have the burning adrenaline, he should be able to boost a lot of threat out as well. But still be very careful about it. If you pull threats, that basically means that's going to be a wipe. One of the RNG about this fight is he can target all our healers first. If that happens, that's basically a wipe we can't do anything about. We just wipe, we go in here, we do it again, and hopefully less healers gonna be burning adrenaline. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the reason why melee is standing here is basically the same mechanics as Onyxia, tail swipe and flame in the front, and the Drake cleaves. That's it. So, questions?
I'd say start it, but don't kill him, and then we can see the debuff.
See the first burning adrenaline, yeah. And of course, the problem here, we don't have any add-ons that can tell us when and what. So please make sure you are watching your debuff. The burning adrenaline should look like a male claw or glove.
Can I ask something?
Sure.
Is he like tail sweeping?
It is. So you have to move on this side of the pillar here.
Okay.
Yeah, very important to get out the raid group, guys, if you get the debuff. It's like the Geddon bomb.
Don't kill it.
Don't kill it. Just stand there. You see, of course. Anyone got the burning adrenaline yet?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
It's 18 seconds.
18 seconds. Okay, that means he's gonna die very soon.
So you move to the diamond and
still keep do DBS, blah blah blah, and basically that's it. And as I forgot to mention, he does an AOE flame nova, so having some fire aura, resistance aura, and fire potions would be a good thing for this fight. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean fire potions. They will help for the first 10 seconds, and
yeah,
it's not that much.
It's also important that
person should have the burning adrenaline any second. Oh no.
I think it was me, and I didn't move. I'd like a rest, please.
Wouldn't it be better with a resistance potion, maybe?
I mean, priests should also like shield everyone on pool, like just before the pool.
That could help as well.
I mean,
sorry.
At the start, at least all the casters because of the pushback.
Yeah, we should configure the 5 seconds pull timer to something like 20 or 50.
You have 8 seconds, but that's where the fight starts at 1. So.
Yeah. Okay, guys, let's move on. As I say, we could easily spend half hour on each boss, but in the interest of time, we're obviously not going to cover absolutely everything, but it's just to give you guys a bit of a flavor.
For this next is basically trash, but believe it or not, they actually do require tactics the same as a boss. And I think, Darren, you will be the best one to explain this one, even though I have written down the tactics for them. So if you please on these.
It really will depend on how the situation looks in Classic, though. If it's the same amount of. Oh wait, actually, we have another composition this week, right?
Yeah, yeah.
We will see about the composition. We maybe need to hibernate 2 of them. Maybe only have 1 to hibernate. We will see. But the Death Talon Wormkins, they will be hibernated up here. The big boy, the captain, will be kited. The flame scales will be pulled downstairs outside here. That's why basically all of the raid will stand outside for those group pulls.
Yeah, no one stands in this room and fight.
And then the kill target will be tanked at star. Then the second flame scale will be tanked a little bit to the left from star. And then we kill everything, including the captain preferably, and then we go up and focus one wormkin after another.
Yeah, and this is mainly when we get to here in Classic, we know precisely what kind of setup we gonna get. As I said, this was different last time we were in here, but yeah, mainly the captain kiting, hibernates, some tanking, and killing. That's basically it. So.
And where are we killing them?
Outside this room.
Downstairs?
Yeah, with Veilstra. Yeah.
Just right outside this room here.
Yeah, the upper balcony here with Veilstra.
Yeah, we are not jumping down to Vel. Just on the balcony.
Okay, let's all move up, guys. Obviously, it goes without saying we're gonna talk it all through on the day
when we are live. Yeah, but yeah.
Depression room.
Yeah, depression. Yeah. So as you see, here are tons of dragons, and to be honest, there are a lot more dragonkins here than there are in Classic, if I remember correctly. But before we even enter this room, we are going to clear as many of these Death Talon Hatchers. The reason why we are taking them to here is because these small whelps, they will respawn very, very quickly. They are tied to Broodlord, and they will keep spawning until Broodlord is dead. So, as you saw, there were 3 these taskmasters here. They like to heal each other, but 2 of them, we're gonna be sheep, and we kill 1, and we kill 2, and we kill 3, basically like that. We're gonna be assigning 2 rogues for this fight here, or Trash, and the next boss. Their job is only to disarm these traps. You can see these pillars on the floor. They will be in stealth and disarming the traps. Of course, in retail, you're not able to do it anymore because everyone can do it now. So 2 rogues going to be assigned for clearing traps, while the raid is clearing the Dragonkin Death Talon Hatchers. 2 seconds. Once they are dead, we can go back to this position where I'm standing right now. And then we can move as one group ahead to the first cove right here. And we're going to pull the whelps along the way, but still move as one party. This is where you do not want to be left behind, because that's going to be giving a whole other kind of problems. So you do have to be very up where you're going. The thing with this debuff, as you can see here, it has the movement speed reduced by 80%, and your casting speed is reduced as well. And we have to, as quick as possible, get up this ramp. And we're going to move to, let me get this one. And we're going to move to this corner over here. This corner over here is our resting place. This is where we can drink up, get health, mana, while the 2 rogues keeps these 2 pillars down. And of course, some still, the melee keeps the dragon whelps gone. while the mana users keep drinking. After that, we are positioning ourselves right here. From this spot, we're going to pull all the death talents, the taskmasters, and we're killing them right here. Basically the same as we did before we entered the suppression room. We make sure we don't have any other mobs than the the corruption whelps here. And after we've done that, we can then move up along this wall. Squall and circle, you can follow those. And we're gonna move all the way up here. Of course, Rogue's gonna clear. And at this time, there should be very, very few death talents up. So we're gonna continue here to the next cove. And the next cove is the one we are going to have our next break. You kiss the wall, move into the corner. And this is with our second rest place where we can get mana, heal up if we have any. Hopefully no one is dead at this point, because as I said, if you're gonna die in the first run down there, problem is you are probably not gonna be along the fight. I guess we can summon, but just get in your mind that if you're getting behind, it's gonna be a problem later on. So once, just kill him. Just kill him. We don't need to explain. Da, da, da.
And if he dies, do not stand in front of the door here.
After he dies, the next task is to basically disable all the traps and kill all of these dragon whelps here. So everyone has to run around, disable traps, kill the rest of the dragon, because we are going to need this room for clearing trash for the next room. But of course, I'm going to explain tactics for the boss first. I went a bit ahead of myself there.
Don't stand in front of him, that's what I know.
Only the tank.
Okay, in this right here, the skull is of course the boss, Broodlord. The tank, off tank, blah blah blah. You're all gonna be positioned here at the X. Melee at the start of the fight is the moon. You want to wait for the first flame lash he's doing. Blast wave, it's called blast wave. After the first blast wave, you can then move out of line of sight and go to the blue square and do DPS. After that, the blast wave will arrive again. You move out again. The reason for this, so we don't get hit by it. In progression, it's important we get as less damage as possible. So that's why the melee should never have a threat problem on this fight, because you are going to move in and out constantly. The ranged should therefore don't have any problem getting hit by the blast wave, because it does have a somewhat ranged. So your ranged DPS job is to make sure you never exceed the tank's threat.
Very important.
Very important. And at this point, if everyone keeps what they're doing, yeah, hog the wall, yeah. Of course, the two rogues, they're going to be one right here, taking care of this trap. That's going to be another rogue, taking care of this trap here. And they do nothing besides that. That's their only job. So that's going to be an easy job for a rogue. Okay, he one thing is very important. Broodlord is doing what he's called a mortal strike. It do tons of damage. Therefore, it's very important for the healers, mainly the priests, to pop a shield on the tank to mitigate some of the damage after, so you're able to get him up. He also do a knockaway, which reduces threat. So this is what we call a somewhat soft hardcore point, because if the fight is too long, the tanks will never be able to keep the threat because of this. So we still do want to have high DPS, but still watch the threat. I hope I explained that correctly. Yeah. Well, that's basically this boss fight then. Any questions?
So basically, guys, as DPS, don't overtake the tanks on threat.
Well, they can stay in stealth, but this one here over near the boss, of course, he's going to be hit by the blast wave. So there's no much use for him to be in stealth. However, this one from the back here, he can stay in stealth and disarm the traps. Oh yeah, and I forgot. As long as the boss is up, we will get whelps from back here. So the ranged job is to stop DPS on the boss, switch to the whelps, AoE them down. That's easy as that.
I can't remember. Are they fire resistant or?
No.
They are okay.
If you're talking about the whelps.
Yeah, that's the whelps.
Well, that depends on what color they are. There are 4 different colors, but in my opinion, it should not be a problem because we both have hunters, we have mages, and we have warlocks.
Yeah, okay.
So they should be taken down very quickly, and they are non-elite, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So, any questions else?
Yeah, no, I think I'm out of questions.
Okay, so the next part here, I would call them, well, it's trash, but it is a mini boss mechanic. Again?
This is where I had that tip from the private servers where a warlock would go behind a corner and just life tap and have a paladin constantly healing the warlock to get heal aggro, making all of the ads run in a straight line towards them with hunter traps on the floor to slow them and just nuke them down.
Yeah, that's possible also. Yeah, that's also a very good mechanic. But as a backup, I've been listening to some people who has actually been access to the PTR server of Blackwing Lair for Classic. All these technicians, they have, they called it a hive mind. When you pull threat on one technician, you have threat on the rest of the technicians. So basically, a hunter pulls the technicians. They have down the frost traps, and they're gonna kite them round to the end of this room down here. That's the only job. And then all the melee DPS, they take care of the warlocks. The warlocks you want to get down as quick as possible because they will summon demons. And if that happens, warlocks, you need to banish them as quick as possible. So that's some mechanic you really need to be aware of here. But the warlocks goes down very much first. After that, I don't think we have. No, I don't think we have an overseer in the first group. We're only technicians, warlock, and we should have a spellbinder as well. So basically, after the warlocks is dead, all the casters, you can start AoEing down the technicians that's going to be running around back in the end here, where the hunter is going to kite them and basically take them down. Never stand still if you have aggro on the technicians, because they throw a grenade at you, and they will one-shot you. The Death Talon is basically going to be off-tanked to the side if we get that one, but not in the first year. And after the Warlocks, of course, the Spellbinder is also going to be off-tanked to the side, and all the melee is going to take care of those. That's basically it. Oh yeah, well, the Spellbinders, they are immune to spells, so that's why the ranged are on the technicians in the back. Any questions for these? I guess not.
As you said about the hourglass and all the slot drops, didn't you?
Yeah. If you get our sands, stuff like that, it's important that you do not throw them out. You keep them until we are in front of Chromagis. At that point, you're going to trade an officer or a raid leader all the hour sands so we know what we have to deal with. But I'll explain that much later when we are on Chromagis. And for information, we have around 1.5 minutes from Firemore is right here to he comes back from his routine or whatever. Just kill these overseers as well. Okay, so let's move back to the other room again.
He's going now.
It's okay, he's allowed to come.
We're going to need to pick up the pace slightly with running through these bosses as well.
Yeah.
Easier said than done, I know, but...
Well, I suppose we're not going to remember everything. Maybe just the basics.
I was going to say, we probably don't have to go through the tank tactics too much if they know
Please
what they're doing.
don't DPS fire him off. It's going to position him accordingly.
This is basically the position the tank's going to take.
DPS. Guys, come on.
It's okay.
Yeah, but it would have been nice to practice with the debuff, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Okay. There's one main tank. The off tank is going to be positioned at Moon. He's going to be there until Devon says, I need a switch. And then the Moon's going to take care of Cross while Devon moves to Moon. So that's one off tank. The other off tank is going to be standing at Square, waiting until the wing buffet from the boss is coming in. He moves in, position himself, taunts the boss off, take the wing buffet, and then after that, Devon or the other tank taunts back, Flame Gore.
Automatically get threat back.
Yeah, and then you move out of line of sight again. That's the tank's jobs in this entire fight. Nothing else. Of course, and keep threat. The melee's job is to be standing at triangle here, doing DPS, blah, blah, blah. You do not want to get more than, I would say, max 6 stacks on you. And they do tick a bit quick. I would say for progression, not more than 5. After 5, you run out of line of sight. You wait for the debuff to run off, and you use bandages. You might get lucky that you're getting a renew or a hot from a healer if you're very nice or something. Same as for the ranged. You move in, you do DPS. If you get 5 debuffs, you run to the wall, wait for the debuff to go away, you bandages, and then you return to the fight. That's basically it. So I guess we want to have a tag team for healing the tank here. So one team heals the tank. When that team needs to go out, team 2 moves in That could be a good idea for keeping the tank's health up. So that's basically the entire fight here. And of course, you do not want to exceed the tank's threat.
Okay, let's move on.
Non-main tank healers. Well, we could have a few healers to stay, maybe one or two standing out of line of sight to heal. And basically, the trash up here is gonna be the same as the first. We are just gonna use this pillar or this corner here as line of sight for the engineers and kill them, stuff like that. But I think we're gonna get more into it when Classic hits, and I will release my guide so you are able to read all the trash pulls, stuff like that, if you want. Kill all except the last 3 in the bottom. Okay. So these worm guards, if you mark one, you can see they have this is called an elemental shields. They can have something in classic as well, but we need to put what called detect magic on them to see what their damage taken increased. This one, damage taken from nature increased. This one is fire increased. The next one is nature increased. But we only want to off tank them, or do you want to kite them? I can't remember what you said here.
Kite one, kill the other two.
Yeah, kite one back to Fire Moss room or suppression room, and of course we put a tank on cross and tank on square, and we're gonna spread them out for each side. One here and one in the other
Square
side.
will be kite.
Yeah. Okay.
Square will be kited.
Square kite. Okay. So we keep 2 here. We kill them when they're dead. The kiter can feign death or whatever. I guess it's gonna be 100. Yeah. And we kill them. As you can see, there is a goblin here in the back. This one we want to have mind controlled, especially for the first 2 runs, if not only the first run. The reason for this is after the fight, we can then use him and mark all the miners, and they will be taught smelting elementium, which is needed for the Thunder Fury. After that, we can kill him. So let's just kill these 3, 4. Don't move up yet. Oops. Okay. This is very important. You remember this for the next 2 fights, next bosses. Because basically the exact same fight for both of these 2. The only difference is Ebonrock, he puts a debuff on the tank, and once that happens, he needs to be taunted off to the next tank. That's why we have 3 tanks here, which is Cross, Square, and Moon. They're going to be positioned like this with a good amount of between each tank. Okay, the square is not that far away, but you get the point. Boss is the skull, blah, blah, blah. You get the debuff. The 2 off tanks taunt. Whoever gets him keeps the aggro. The other one auto attacks. That's the entire tank fight. Melee, they can stand here and do DPS. Pew, 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 pew. Ranged, you stand back here. You do ranged stuff, heal, DPS, and that's basically the fight. The thing is, if the tank has the debuff and he keeps tanking him, that will mean that every time Ebon Rock hits this tank, it will heal Ebon Rock for 25,000 health. So it's important that you have your finger ready on decursive. If that's the point. I don't think it's cursed. No, it's not. It's not. You have to wait for it to go run off. Sorry about that. That's why you have an off tank take care of it. But you do not want Ebon Rock to hit the one who has the debuff. That's the main thing. As for the next fight, it's basically the entire same setup. That means, in this case, Flame Gore. In this, it is so important that the hunters are ready on their tranquilizer shots. If the hunters are ready and they are doing it the second he gets it, we should not have any problems killing this boss. Meaning, okay, let's say they forget it. Flame Gore, he's gonna get frenzied. If Flame Gore is getting frenzied, that means he starts Fire Nova AoE damage to everyone in the raid. So as long as you keep the frenzy gone by tranquilizing, there should be no problem here. Everyone can stay in line of sight. And it is recommended to have a greater fire protection for this fight. So basically, that's the two next drakes then. Any questions? I guess no questions then. And these three are going to be basically the same as before. Two are tanked, one is kited. And they have the same abilities. They're taking more damage for Shadow, Frost, Fire, Nature damage, Gnomes. Okay. So before, don't pull the lever. Just gonna put all the markers. Oops. Okay, so how this fight is started. All the melee is going to start in the moon section, all the ranged in the triangle section along with the healers. And the reason for this is because Chromacus has 2 seconds. He has 5 abilities. And the fight is all depending on what 2 abilities we will get. So before we know the 2 abilities, all the ranged DPS and melee DPS, they stay in their position and doing absolutely nothing. I will explain the ones that are somewhat easy first. There's an ability called Ignite Flesh. It puts a dot on everyone in line of sight. It does around 700 to 900 fire damage every 3 seconds for 45 seconds. So yeah, healers, you need to be on top of your tank. And of course, I guess he will have some fire mitigation tank gear on.
Full def.
Okay. So before this ability is going to come, of course, when the fight is in, you run out before the ability is cast, meaning you will not get hit by this debuff. After that, you can run back in. The next ability is called Incinerate, which does 4000 to 4300 fire damage, which again, only the main tank should be hit by this. or the hunter who is tranquilizing Chromachus. So that's where you need to be on top of the tanks and the hunter who is the tranquilizer. Again, melee and ranged should move out of line of sight to moon and triangle to not get hit by this. The next one is called Frostburn. Once again, before it's cast, all ranged and melee DPS move out of line of sight. If you get hit by this, you're going to get a reduced attack speed by 80%, and it does around 2,200 damage to everyone in line of sight. Again, the only one should be in line of sight, the tank and the tranquilizer hunter. The next ability is called Corrosive Acid. Again, only the tank should be in line of sight and the hunter. It does 900 to around 1200 nature damage every 3 seconds, and it reduces the armor by 4 to 5,000. So this is where you really need to be on your toes by healing the main tank. And again, we want a tag team of healers. Team 1 healing the tank. When they're on 25%, this team 2 comes out, heal the tanks, while the 2 other priests or healers go out of line of sight and regen mana. But again, so that should be it for that. He's also doing something called Shimmering Skin. He does that through all the abilities, and he becomes weak to a random magic element. So we want detect magic on Chromachus at all times to see what he's vulnerable to. Okay, the last time lapse. This is the one that's important. If we get time lapse, the off tank is gonna, of course, he's gonna be standing at the square building threat as well, and we getting time lapse. This means the off tank move out of line of sight while everyone else gets in line of sight because they want to get hit by this. What happens when you get hit by time lapse is everyone's health gonna be reduced by 50%, and all their threat is going to be wiped, meaning the only one who's going to have threat is the off tank who's in out of line of sight. And at this point, the off tank should then, after the cast, quickly get out, position himself at the cross, and basically be tanking him until the next session where Darren or main tank is out of line of sight. And again, Darren off tank, main tank at that point should be building threat for the next time lapse. And to make this fight a lot easier, not harder, I mean, sorry, you will get debuffs by poisons, magic, and curses. So we're gonna assign a paladin and a mage to Moon, which basically just gonna stand in the corner and stay out of our sight unless it's time lapse, or at this triangle here for mainly only doing decursive dispelling. That's basically it. For because you do not want more than 4 debuffs on you. If you get 5, that means you become a problem from the raid. You will be turned into one of these Death Talon Worm Guards or lookalike, and you're basically gonna go apeshit on the raid and killing everyone. The only thing you're not able to dispel is the one called Bronze Broodlord Affliction. So this is where we're gonna need all those Hour Sandglass, and the tanks are gonna need a lot of them, so they are never going to be affected by this Bronze Affliction. And to mention by this, the tanks should have first priority on be cleansed, decursed, or dispelled. He should never have any of these affliction on them. And if you are in trouble or you have bronze and you don't have any hourglass, you have to move out in good time before the next ability, because if you get frozen in time and you are in line of sight, that means you are basically dead the rest of the fight. That's basically it for this fight. Again, there will be a written guide you can read also, and you can rewatch this video later. Any questions? Yes, when time lapse is there, everyone should be in line of sight except the off tank. Because as I said, your threat's gonna be wiped. No one's gonna have aggro anymore except the off tank. Just kill him.
Okay, thank you thus far, Nims. So obviously on Thursday we'll be at this stage in about an hour and a half because we're so good.
Exactly.
And it leads us to Nefarian. Now, Nimsy is going to tell you all that you're going to need shadow pots.
For
and
the first
I
phase.
have a little trick that I have found about getting them because they are quite expensive on the AH. So just before Nims gets into it, if you have a herbalist, if you get yourself over to Scarlet Monastery, if you do Graveyard first, there are between 0 and 3 grave moss nodes in there, so you can grab them. You then leave the graveyard, you go into Armory, and there is a Fade Leaf node in the very first room that you get to. You can miss all the trash and pick it. You then leave Armory and go into Library, and again there is a Fade Leaf node in the first room. Now I can't quite work out what's going on with the the dungeon IDs there, because I'm getting to go more than 5 times within the hour.
I think it's because
weird.
all the wings are the same instance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So what you can do, guys, if you have a herber, you can do, as I say, graveyard, grab 0 to 3 grave moss nodes. You then go to armory, you can grab a fade leaf node, and then you go into library, grab a fade leaf node, exit, reset, repeat. I have got 10 pots, bearing in mind it's 4 of each herb to make, plus 1 dream foil, in probably half hour. It is really quick and easy.
Thank you for that, tip, Adam.
That will save you all a ton of
yeah, I agree. I think I'm gonna look into that. Okay, for the last boss. This boss is gonna have 3 phases. And as you can see, I marked here there are 2 doorways. There's one right here. I ping on the minimap. And there's a doorway right here. What we are going to do to figure out what kind of dragons we're going to get, we're going to send whatever in to start the fight and basically feint death or vanish, whatever, to figure out what kind of color drakes we're going to have.
Just a question.
Yeah.
If Nefarian has the 30-minute respawn timer, like he had in the beginning, won't that trigger?
No, you haven't spawned him.
So that's only in phase 2. I mean.
Yeah, that's from what I'm reading. But again, if we are quick on our toes, we do not need this. It's up to us if we want to do this or we want to just go into the fight and hope we can position us correctly quickly. So we're going to have, let me tell you, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to have all the colors of there are 5, sorry. We have 2 colors of the drakes, but there's a third that can swim in there as also. But there are 5 different, there's a black, there's a blue, there's a bronze, there's a green, and there's a red dragonoids. The black one is going a single target fire attack. It has a high resistance to shadow and fire spells, which means warlocks, you need to move to the other door quickly. There's the blue dragonoids. It burns 50 mana from nearby players, reduce attack speed of melee players, and it has resistance to frost spells, which means mages, you need to be on the other gate then. There's a bronze. This slows attacks cast speed of players. So yeah, and it has a high resistance to arcane spells. Yeah, just kill them. Green ones, they put priority. They put sleep on character player for 2 seconds around them, and they have high resistance to nature spells. There's the red one, which gives a fire attack with a dot damage over time effect on the target, and has high resistance to fire spells. But that said, if we had 2 colors, but a third, it's called chromatic draconoids, that will spawn one at each wave, and they have a very large health pool, and they have resistance to all magical spells. So I would say all the melees should take care of these pronto. Once we have then killed 42 of them, and doing, not forgetting, while we have this, I'll mark here. At this spot right here, Devon and his minions, that means 2 healers, and our Chili Wind mage, which means in this case Candy, because you are going to be Devon's decursor. That's gonna be your focus for the fight, and of course stacking your chill. What's it called?
Winter's Chill.
Sorry, yeah, Winter's Chill. You're gonna be one stacking Winter's Chill, so it's ready when the rest of the party is finished with their ads. Of course, Nefarian can land before the ads are dead, so make sure you kill all the ads before even thinking about moving on Nefarian. Let's reset the markers, and I can put in the phase 2. Okay, as you might guess, the skull is the boss, meaning Nefarian. Devon is the main tank. This is a 1-tank fight, and that's how so it should be. The blue one is the melee. You go pew pew. The moon is going to be ranged hunters, mages, healers, warlocks, druids. They're all going to be standing around in this square here. The green triangle here is an out of line of sight. I'm going to get to that later. And as you might notice, I put a diamond here in the back. That's basically where all the mate is going to be positioned during the entire fight. Okay. Okay, as for Candy, or the decursor of the main tank, if Candy is not there, your main task is to make sure the main tank never gets Vial of Shadow, because it reduces the healing effect on the target for 75% for 15 seconds. So it's important that it's decursed as soon as possible. We want to have a field ward rotation on the main tank at all times, because this is basically some of the principles same as Onyxia. He cleaves, he tail swipes, and he fears. And doing this this fight, Nefarian, he has what is called class calls. This is where the fights gets tricky and fun. I'm going to take them in order as I wrote them down. As for the priests, if your class call is called out, it is very much imperative that you stop all your direct heals. If you keep direct heals, meaning heals, flash heal, on the target, you are basically killing him. You're putting a debuff on the target instead of healing him. The only thing you're allowed to do is renew and Pyrewood shields. Okay, the next one. Druids. Well, I guess you would have the easy one. You're gonna get stuck in cat form the entire class call. You're just gonna be meowing all the way, and what you can do basically go to the melee and scratch the Nefarian's ass. That's druids. Rogues. What we're gonna be we're gonna be ported right in front of Nefarian to where the tanks is. It's important at that point we use evasive, and what we can do to mitigate we're not getting any of the hits. Darren could move straight through Nefarian, turning him around for that few seconds. We have that ability. Yeah, we might get hit tail swiped, but I will prefer a tail swipe over his frontal attacks anytime. And I would say an invulnerable potion would be nice as well for rogues there. So that's basically it. After that, you can then move back to your position, and if you're not topped off, I would recommend you move out of line of sight and you bandages up, stuff like that, to help the healers. Okay, as I mentioned before, the mages are at the diamond. The reason for this is one of the funniest thing that ever gonna be happening. And if you're doing the fight, we're gonna get a mage call. They are basically gonna start polymorphing raid members, in this case in line of sight. So this diamond will be, I guess, filled with giraffes, cows, whatever weird animal they have on the table, pigs, I don't know, gnomes, and that's basically what happens in the mage call. And yeah, they do need to run out of line of sight each call they are called out for. And if, of course, not make mage call, they move in, keep DPSing. So yeah, that's one of the funnier one. As for the warriors, they're gonna be stuck in berserker stance. So this is where the tank's gonna require a lot of extra healing. So maybe a Pyrewood shield would be helping a lot here. And that's basically it. And once the stance, the phase warrior call is over, he can go back in defensive stance, and we can continue the fight. Okay, now one of the more important ones. If warlock's gonna be the class call, all the melee, all the ranged, gonna stop DPS, and they're gonna. Oh, I forgot one target. If it's warlocks, you're basically gonna be standing right here. The reason for this, there will be spawning 2 infernals per warlock in the raid. They need to be killed as soon as possible. After they're dead, every DPS, melee, and ranged can continue the fight on Nefarian. Now for the, I would call the sad one, if it's not careful. The hunters.
So,
yeah.
yeah, just with these ads, should we banish?
No, you don't. You don't want them in the fight longer than necessary. You need to.
Okay, yeah.
They need to die as soon as quick as possible. As for the hunters, in the start of this fight, I recommend you equip your secondary bow, which means the blue one you got from whatever. It's not up to me which bow you pick, but equip the blue bow, and once the hunter call is out, Nefarian will break your bow to 0 durability. Once your class call is over, you can then equip your epic bow and continue the fight. However, after this, and the hunter is going to be called out again, you need to unequip your weapons for the rest of the fight after that. Because if you break your second bow, you're pretty much out of the fight unless you want to have a second or third bow in your backup. And some have actually been mentioning, well, put up a repair bot at the ranged. in case that happens, we could do that, but in the long run, that's going to be expensive. But I'll let it up to you if you want to do that, or you want to unequip your bow all the time. As for the paladins, if your class call is up, all you have to do is move out of line of sight of Nefarian, cause the reason for this, you will put a shield on Nefarian that will make him immune to melee damage. That's all you have to do. Move out of line of sight. And from here, you can then heal targets that are in need of it. There's no reason why I'm explaining the shaman ones. However, it is a fun one though. As for phase 3, I'm almost done, people. When Nefarian hits 25%, all DPS needs to stop because we do not want a 20% transition and a class call at the same time. So we're gonna wait for a class call, see what we get. When that's over, we push the limit, push Nefarian over the 20%. At that time, all the melee ranged, they should converse at one spot, cause all the ads we killed in phase 1, they're gonna be raised as skeletons, and this is where the Stratholm Holy Water is gonna be effective, and basically we AoE the crap out of them. And if you have, I would guess engineering has grenades that stuns, that could be helpful as well. Kill them as quick as possible. AoE the shit out of them. So make sure, mages, you maybe equip your spirit staff, evocate so you have mana specific for this part of the fight. And once they're done, it's basically back to class calls, and that's gonna be the rest of the fight. And
we want, sorry, Nims, we want paladins to use its Holy Wrath.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, Holy Wrath. Paladin's gonna move in. Holy Wrath in the middle of it all. Yeah, bubble, yeah, and they need to die as soon as possible, and that's basically it. No,
that's why we kill them in one position, isn't it?
No, we're gonna do them from each of entrances in the beginning until we have more on farm. So they're gonna come from these 2 gates here, where we kill them. So I would guess run to where the green triangle are. They'll be almost the same distance, kinda, and then AoE them down. But it's important that all DPS except the tanks, healer tanks, and the tanks decursor, that's the fight. They do that. Rest, take care of the ads, and if we can do that, well, we have a kill, and that's basically Blackwing Lair for everyone. And as I said, as soon as this guide has been spell checked, or in some places rewritten, it will be available for download. I'll post it in Discord before I release it to my website or whatever. Well, it only takes a few seconds to cast a Stratholm Water. So yeah, I would say everyone who's not doing DPS could actually help by just throwing a Stratholm Water. So yeah. So I would guess everyone who's not a tank, or yeah, get a few Stratholm Water before Blackwing Lair raid. So yeah, that's it. And now I need something to drink.
Right, should we start it up?
Yeah, you can start the fight. By the way, oh yeah.
I have one comment here. If I recall correctly, the effects of durability damage on hunter bows and stuff like that, it happens instantly.
It happens
so
instantly.
You have to like unequip for every class call.
Yeah.
Then you see, okay, it wasn't hunter. Okay, I can re-equip.
Guys, not in the doorways, because we might as well do it properly. Okay then.
So you see we get blue, that's the one draining mana, and the black one which do a single fire damage. And has high resistance to shadow. And as you can see, their corpses stay behind as a skeleton. And I forgot to mention that this is a good idea where hunters in each side, they move in and they put down frost traps to slow them. Oh yeah, one very, very important thing about this fight. Everyone in the raid needs the Onyxia Scarecrow equipped before you enter the room. As you saw when the fight started, oh, see now they come. These are the ones we need to nuke down as soon as possible. Yeah. Where were I before? Yeah, basically that. And as for phase 1, it might be a good idea to have a shadow protection potion, as Adam explained you were to farm. Because during the phase 1, I forgot to mention that, sorry. Nefarian is going to spawn and do a shadow bolt volley on the entire raid. And to help the healers in this progression, it would help. And of course, we're going to be needing less and less of all these protection potions the more we have this raid on farm.
Also, did you mention the limited invulnerability potions?
Yeah, but that's mainly for the rogues because they're going to be teleported in front of Nefarian here. And
I
yeah,
thought mages got these.
Yeah. Sorry, mages. Whoever is going into melee attack from these adds that spawns at 20%. Yeah, those needs invulnerable potions as well.
Could use Paladin Blessing of Protection as well.
Yeah, but they're going to use it on themselves when they run in and use their Holy Wrath. So pop invulnerable potions is what's it? Shadow, Ghost Mushroom, and can't remember what the other one. Shadow Oil, I think it is.
What for the limited invulnerability potion?
Yeah, I can't remember. I don't have
Ghost Mushroom and Blind Weed for
yeah, Blind Weed and Ghost Mushroom. Yeah.
Question: are we going to do anything special for the tanking of the ads in phase 1? Because that's I remember when we started using the battle shout buffing to keep AoE aggro. That's how we managed to kill it back in the day.
I guess we'll be doing it with 2 tanks each side. One is focusing on the small ads, one on the big ones. Then in between of the big spawns, the other one, the second one, helps out with the small ones as well.
Yeah, and the main tank's main job is to stand back here, do pretty much nothing for the phase 1, getting ready for the fire to land.
No, the tank, the Nefarian tank can also go in and tank.
Okay.
It's just like the last 3 ads or something, there's just one tank at one side. But it shouldn't be a big deal.
And once we get more on farm, I guess we could start doing it as one big AoE in the first phase. But until then, we need to do it separately in 2 teams. So, any more questions?
No, but thank you very much, Nims.
No problemo.
Yes, thank you, Nimsy. Okay, guys. Looking at the time. Firstly, thank you, as I say, to Nimsy. Secondly, thank you to everyone else for coming along. Hopefully, it was of some use. I certainly found it useful coming back for the second time. As I said before, if any of you have any concerns about being able to farm the various pots needed, please don't stress about it. Just give us a whisper, Won't think anything less. Very much aware that people have other commitments outside of the game and don't necessarily have time to farm it. So please don't start getting yourselves stressed out about it. Just give us a shout. As I say, Shadow Resistance pots expensive, but yeah, Scarlet Monastery, you can pump them out really quick. Other than that, raids are up for signing too for next week. So go do that at your leisure. And as I said right at the very beginning of the raid, please do complete the questionnaire. Completely anonymous. I'm not going to say anything about the results at the moment, so not to indirectly influence anybody's answers. Please answer it honestly, guys. If there are concerns and you think you need to give it a 5 out of 10 or higher or lower, please do so. But equally so, if an answer deserves a 10 out of 10, give it a 10 out of 10. But please be honest. And as I said before, I am going to post the results regardless. And what I will also do is that if there is a particularly low score, I think I'm going to follow it up with another opportunity for people to provide feedback where your name is optional. So you can either do it and let me know who you are, or you can do it as an anonymous feedback, and that's not a problem at all. If you don't want your name associated with your concern, I completely get that. So I'm going to work out a way, if needed, to do that as well, because ultimately we want this to be a great place to be. That's it from me.
Thanks, sweetie.
Yeah. And as I
You're
said,
welcome.
we kept it to 1 hour and 30 minutes. So
Yes. The other thing I'd say, guys, is obviously gear up for the, not literally gear up, but gear up for the fact that, we've been rather spoiled with how quickly we are doing Molten Core and Elixir. It's sort of done in an hour and a half. Just bear in mind, obviously, raid times are server 8 till midnight. I would imagine for the first week or two, we'll probably be doing that and potentially also definitely spilling into a second night, because obviously we're still going to do Molten Core and whatnot. I'll be posting a further update nearer to the time, just so everybody's clear. But one thing's for certain, as I say, bear in mind the first raid will certainly be the 4 hours. Obviously we'll make sure we have bio breaks and all the rest of it. But yeah, prepare yourselves for the fact that we've been rather spoilt with MC. Blackwing Lair is literally the next stage up, not just with gear, but also difficulty as well. But I have no doubt in my mind we are gonna absolutely smash it.
yeah. Well, it is a very steep difficulty jump from Molten Core to Blackwing Lair, because we're gonna have bosses that are multiple phases. There are a lot of more game mechanics, so that means there's a lot more that can go wrong. But if people are doing what they're supposed to and not dingle dongle around, yeah, we would go far very quickly also in here. It all depends on what you put into it and what us as officers put into it. The more we do or do get into it, the quicker we can do this. And that's what I said in the beginning. That this guild has a very good teamwork, and I see everyone wants to help. If there is anything, they answers questions, stuff like that. Everyone helps. So if we do that, and well, we can do this. We can clear this, and I believe in you, to be honest.
Exactly. And guys, as well, if you've got any questions, there's no such thing as a silly question. Please ask. It's much better for everybody to have a clear idea going into a fight instead of thinking to yourself, oh, I'm a bit unsure about that, but I don't want to ask because I'm going to come across as silly. Please, please, please don't have that mindset. Just ask. There's no such thing as a stupid question.
Only stupid answers.
Exactly. But there's no such thing as a stupid or silly question. Just ask. We'd much rather people ask on the run up to, and also when we're on the fight. If you need any clarification, you all have been with us long enough now, apart from the two new guys. But you guys have all been with us long enough now, and hopefully the new guys as well can already gauge. Ultimately, we're here to help and answer questions and all the rest of it. So please ask. Yeah.
Exactly. So I guess this is over for the stream as well. And you can always go to my YouTube channel and rewatch the stream if you are curious of any questions also. I guess you can maybe find answer you missed doing this run. And as we will go through them on the raid night, but again, it's not so much extensive as we have been doing right now. But we will go through them doing the raids on the raid nights.
Cool. Thank you, Nims. Okay, guys, as I said, we could spend literally an hour plus on every single boss, going through the real fine tuning. But I'm sure you'd all agree that it's 8 hours to do that, and nor would we expect people to to spend what would be a working day going through tactics. So obviously we're going to go through everything on the day. So there's obviously a lot of information there to take in. So don't worry. If you've forgotten half of it already, there's a lot to remember.
It is. And if you have problem figuring out what potions you need, stuff like that, resistance, just ask. I think we also have a post on Discord that tells what's kind of required to bring.
Yeah, it's under. Let me double check. It's under important announcements. So if you haven't seen it already, check there. And I've also posted the final priority list for Blackwing Lair on there as well, guys. Taking into consideration some of the feedback, which we did, as promised, we put it to you guys as the guild, and we have tweaked the list accordingly based on that feedback. So feedback is very important, and it doesn't fall upon deaf ears. As I say, we're always interested to hear what you guys think and factor that into any decision making where we can. Anyway, I think that's enough from all of us. So go sign up for the raids. Go complete the survey if you haven't done so already. And we'll catch you guys later.
Well, now we also have people here. Maybe change your names on Discord so we can see who you are.
Yes, good shout, Nim. So we're going to have a bit of a tidy up of who's on Discord, because there's some names on there that I don't even know who they are. So make sure your character name is on Discord. Ideally as well, your in real life name in brackets, but if you don't want to put that on there, fair enough. Not going to force you, but certainly your character name, because we are going to review that over the next couple of weeks. And if it doesn't tally with someone in the guild, that person is going to get removed from Discord. And obviously we don't want to remove anyone by accident.
Good night.
Night.
Good night,
Good
Bart.
night, and thank you.
Good night, guys.
Good night. Good night.
As for the stream, I sincerely thank you for watching. And as I said, you can always return to my YouTube channel and watch this video. I am not going to delete it. So thank you for watching, and bye-bye.